USD 413. On today's edition of Sizemore Tech Tidbits, we are going to make a student data tracker, a simple one, in Google Sheets. Okay, we are going to talk this morning about using Google Sheets to track student data. And you could use this for a lot of different things. We're going to start with going to sheet.new. That is a fast way to get to a clean new Google Sheet. So then the first thing I'm going to do when I get in that new sheet is rename it so that I don't have another untitled blah 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 in my Google Drive. Then I'm going to click that little star there next to it so that it is marked as priority in Drive, and it'll show up there right at the top. Then we are going to put in all of the different category names that we have. So I'm going to start with student last name or student first name and then student last name, and I'm going to do those in two separate columns so that if I ever need to sort, it'll make sorting things a lot easier. And then I'm just going to do like a general reading, math, writing as my categories. You may have some more specific ones if you are doing like Ames Web and you want to put in each of the subcategories and subtests. So yours might look a little bit different when you go to make it. The next thing I'm going to put here in these columns is a one-on-one with the student. So I know that we have discussed it, and a positive phone call home. So you may have different things that you want to put there to kind of track as well. Now we're going to look at some of the different formatting things that we can do to make this look pretty. Let's just be honest, we're just making it pretty. Okay. The first thing I want to do here is make all of the columns the same width, and you can do that by highlighting all of them and then adjusting, going up to where where my cursor is right there, and adjusting, and when they're highlighted, all of them will move to the same size. That same thing works for rows if you were looking at expanding your rows too. And then I really like things centered and pretty, so I'm going to center them. And I want to make sure my text is wrapped. And then for my first column there, I want to make my text go in a different direction. So I'm picking I'm picking like kind of an angle. You could go straight up and down, angle the other way, however you want to do it, but this is just how I like doing it. Now I'm going to start putting in my student names. Once all of my names are in, then I'm going to start putting in data. For the purpose of this, I'm just going to pick 3 categories: beginner, intermediate, and advanced, and kind of walk you through a neat way you can organize this. If you go into, have a cell selected, go into data validation, then you can pick a list of items, and I could have my 3 categories listed there, and they'll show down in a drop down box. And then once I have those titles in there, I'll save it. And then you can drag down in that little corner, or, old school, copy and paste. Either way works to fill up all of the squares. The next thing I'm going to do is in my columns with a one-on-one with the student and phone call home, I'm going to highlight all of those squares because I want to put check boxes in there, and that's actually in the data section. And then we're going to go into data validation and change that just like we did from the other one. So we're going to change it to checkbox. Save, and now you can just go in there, check mark when you want them or not. Now I'm going to give everybody some scores. Please don't judge these children. Okay, now I want to, that's a lot of just words, black and white. So now I want to go into my conditional formatting and add some rules here. So we are going to say that when a text contains, and then I'll just put in the word intermediate, it turns that cell yellow. And then we're going to do the same things there for advanced and beginner. So with this, you could make these any color that you wanted. And as many different ones as you would like. So I am going to add a notes column now, just because there's always something you want to take note of when you are tracking data. So now I want to do some formatting, and I like it when things have borders and are lined up and everything is pretty. So that's what we're going to do now. I'm just going to select all of the cells that I want to have a border, and I will go up in there, and I want it all around, not just on certain edges, so we're just going to do all around. I did go ahead and make a clean copy of this with a lot more rows than mine had. So that is just, if you look down at the bottom, you'll see my examples one sheet, and then there's a clean copy on the other. Please make a copy of this and tweak it and change it and make it yours, or use it as a guide to make your own. Thanks.